This situation keeps getting crazier as we have multiple updates surrounding Auston Matthews and his future on playing this season. We're going to break down the new reports and discuss what this means going forward as they are entering a critical month of January in regards to games and, of course, keeping up in the Atlantic Division. So we're going to break all that down in this episode. But before we get into it, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. About 71.6% of you who are watching aren't subscribed. This is the place to be for daily Leafs content. Now, Darius, obviously, it's an interesting time of year. We had a video earlier today covering some trade targets and talking about the new trade rumors from Elliot Friedman. And now we also have some updates ahead of tomorrow's New Year's Day game surrounding Auston Matthews. And the situation keeps getting a bit more concerning, and it's just getting almost out of hand now, not necessarily with the way that Auston Matthews' situation is being handled, but dating back to his first injury, him, of course, traveling out of the country, and now Anthony Stolarz being out as well. Just so many injuries are happening, and the Leafs need to continue to win games after a pretty brutal loss there the other night. But let's dive into the latest updates. You can see this here, some positive signs. 34 is looking more comfortable. And you saw in the intro, he was starting to skate. He was obviously looking pretty pain-free, but again, you can only see so much from, from the bleachers there. But some breaking news came out from David Alter saying, despite returning to practice this morning, head coach Craig Berube has confirmed that Matthews will once again be out tomorrow against the Islanders, marking his 5th consecutive missed game. We're going to dive into the lines and kind of discuss how his impact, or how his absence has been impacting the team, Mitch Marner specifically, and some other guys. But Darius, he's going to be out once again, and that's it's over a week now since his injury.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to be out at this point. I mean, the last couple of games, last weekend, they ruled him out of games that weekend. Obviously, coming into this game against the Islanders, they ruled him out this morning. And, when I saw that, I'm like, I'm not surprised, right? We haven't really heard an update in terms of how he's progressing or how he's feeling. We're going to get to a quote from Craig Berube in a bit, but that's a little bit concerning to me too. You use the word concerning, and I don't think it's like a problem or anything at this point yet because the team continues to roll to a degree, obviously coming off a pretty bad loss to the Washington Capitals. But Mitch Marner's rolling, William Nylander's doing his thing, John Tavares is having a great season. So, there's other guys pulling the weight of the team here. So I wouldn't classify it as a problem yet, but it is concerning and the way that it is continuing to go on at this point, and there's no real update. So, is he going to play in the Four Nations Cup? That's a thing that's a little bit concerning too. He has been skating. We've seen some videos like you saw off the top there from Nick Barden, and there's some other videos. Sportsnet had a couple over the last couple of days. He's been skating and putting himself through it. Like he's been skating hard and doing drills. So I think that's a good thing. But until he joins the team in a practice, I'm going to hold my breath on this. I don't think he's going to return still for a little while. He's going to have to rejoin the team for a regular practice, a contact practice, and probably a few of them before he gets back into game action here. So it's concerning, but at the same time, I would keep him out until he's 100%. They're rolling. I think that's fine, but I am concerned for the player if this is going to hinder his abilities in the future and the playoff run coming up this spring.
Yeah, we've seen some players thrive in his absence. We've seen some players play a little bit worse in his absence. Obviously, John Tavares has been playing very well. Mitch Marner, specifically, when Auston Matthews hasn't been available, has been really shining and playing extremely good hockey. But guys like Matthew Nyes have been playing a bit worse. Now, whether that's a direct impact of Auston Matthews or not, I'll let you guys kind of decide that. But he hasn't been playing as well as he was. But regarding practice today, Craig Berube spoke out and said he did a good job, I thought, and I think he feels pretty good, so we'll go from there. And no definitive timeline. There's no kind of like they're saying he's doing well. We saw, of course, he's skating and he looks pretty good while skating, of course. And again, it's very hard to see from this perspective exactly how good he is doing. But at least he's out there skating, and we obviously don't know the extent of his injury. But you mentioned a good point. Like, I'm kind of happy at least that he's making some progress. We saw before with his injury, there was a lot more uncertainty, even though I'm not going to lie, there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding what he looks like in the future. But whether you're a big fan of Auston Matthews or not, I assume most Leafs fans are, they need him out there. And Darius, I wanted to kind of bring it up here. You can see again, he said it was good to see Auston out there skating with us. That was a good sign. I think everybody's excited about him being out there too. And as you look at the lines and how Craig Berube has really had to change things up, let alone the impact that it's directly had, and of course the lines of Mitch Marner, but the lack of continuity now is at times causing for some inconsistent play. And we've seen them be lazy at times, be confused is a word I've seen, certain lines. Things are changing so much. David Kamp's going from the second line center to the fourth line center. You have everybody changing, and on a given night, they don't know when Matthews is going to come back. They desperately need to get this guy back to not only, of course, straighten things out, his play, but the lines have been very mismatchy the whole season because of the countless amount of injuries. And the second they get healthy surrounding some of their other guys, some of the more role player guys, they miss their star.
And that's the thing with this team and the dynamic of this team and the makeup of this team, because when you have four guys making that much money when one guy goes out for injury, not just for one game, but for an extended period of time, like we're seeing with Auston Matthews right now. The lineup gets significantly worse. And I think that he's keeping certain lines together, like we've been talking about. A lot of people are confused. Why is David Camp on the second line? It's because that second line, besides Nylander, is not really going right now. You can't really mess with the chemistry of the other lines. Obviously, the top line is doing some good stuff. We've seen some good games out of Mitch Marner recently and all season, honestly. Same with John Tavares. Max Pacioretty, since he's got back from injury, has been really good. The third line has been rolling at times over the last 2 weeks, right? So you can't break those up. So David Camp then gets, I guess, promoted to the second line, right? So when you have so many guys making this much money, when you lose a guy like Auston Matthews for an extended period of time, the lineup is going to feel it. A lot of guys are going to be playing in situations that they're not comfortable in, right? Which could be a good thing later down in the season, right? Come playoff time. But it is very interesting. And I think that if you're the Leafs, I think they're trying to find something right now, and this could be pushing them to make a trade even quicker. And we had another video on that than originally reported, and faster than maybe they would like as an organization. But it really depends on Auston Matthews here. And again, he needs to be 100% to return. It seemed like he was doing really well when he did return. But if something like that re-aggravated it, then I would give him an extended period of time off just to make sure he's ready to go. Because I think the most important thing for the Leafs right now, like we're seeing, they're fighting for that first spot, yes, but it's the playoffs come spring. He needs to be ready to go for that playoff run. They cannot risk him being injured when that time comes.
Yeah, and obviously he hasn't been fully healthy. I mean, even when he was healthy, he came back, he was looking a lot healthier. He got cross-checked, and there was something that directly caused the injury. So at least the bright side is that it wasn't just aggravating him from before, but it did get re-aggravated once he got cross-checked from behind. And when you look at his stats here, I mean, he's played solid. I wouldn't say he's up to the Auston Matthews that all of us, expected from last year. 11 goals, 12 assists. He's not really on track to even, he's barely cracked 30 goals this season. So, which is crazy if you would have told us that coming into the year. But again, he's doing other things. He's really critical on the penalty kill, and that's something that we're seeing a lot of as well. Like, he's playing both sides of the puck this season, offensively and defensively. And that's something that the Leafs are missing as well in his absence. Of course, the defense, the PK, and of course, just the gravity that he automatically commands from everybody else. As soon as he gets the puck, he's always going to be the biggest threat on the ice to score, at least in previous seasons and this season to a degree as well. So hopefully when he comes back, he's healthy, he'll have a clear mind, and he'll be ready to go and can just focus on getting himself and the team ready to prepare for, playoff hockey, but also that final season push and the stretch towards the trade deadline and into the end of the season when they're going to go for that number one spot in the Atlantic. So he has to get healthy because he hasn't looked 100% out there in a little bit. And that's the number one priority now. Do not rush him. If it takes an extra week, 2 weeks, sure, the team should be able to sustain itself, especially if the players start to play a little bit better. They've been playing a bit lackadaisical lately, but I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think they're going to figure it out. And a lot of players have been stepping up in his absence. So I think that's great. And he's not close to 100%. We've known that all season, right? Just by looking at his play. And last year, he was almost a goal a game, never mind a point a game. So he had a great season last year. We know what he looks like when he's healthy. It hasn't been that so far this season. So let's hope that he takes the time that he needs to get ready here. The Leafs continue to play the way that they're playing, because again, it's a tight race with Florida there at the top of the Atlantic, and I think that they desperately need that first seeding come playoff time, because you do not want to play the Boston Bruins again or the Tampa Bay Lightning, which it's shaping up to be there, the 2-3 spots. So should be very interesting, and hopefully he returns when he is fully healthy. But we'll keep you updated if anything comes along the way. But it's a good sign that he is skating and pushing himself through drills.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below on these updates, and hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.